My name is Tommy Ying. Here is Hong Yan, and this is Jajin. We're from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and we are doing research about the Hmong people and the Hmong cultural landscape in Washington Park neighborhood. And so we are going to be interviewing you and using it for the class and research in the class. And so just to make sure, do you agree to this interview that we're getting interviewed?
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we begin in anything, can you give us like an introduction about like who you are and like maybe what do you do now, like the school, like what are you going for school, and the things, you know, you like your goal or dreams and the things you're trying to pursue.
Yeah, so my name is Yee Yang. I'm a marketing major in at MATC Technical College. My dreams and goals are, to get a good marketing degree either in Milwaukee first and then move to a bigger city, because to me I think Milwaukee's kind of small and there's a lot here, but like my dreams is really to be in like New York or California, the bigger, more saturated places, because then there's more opportunities for me there. That's it.
All right. So, you stated before that you used to live here. So, like, what are your like first impressions of like this neighborhood? Like when you used to live here, and then now that you moved out of the neighborhood, just coming back and seeing the neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, like living here, it was it was fun. Like I had my brothers who would roam around the streets, like just like kids would do. We'd play the day away. We go to the park, we go do anything, and for like, I mean, it's really fun. It's just, I mean, there's no other words to kind of explain it. Like you just roam around. It was fun, and then like as I grew up, I moved out of my parents' house because I felt like I didn't have my own privacy anymore, because they still treated me like a kid. So I moved out to the east side of Milwaukee. It's a lot different compared to this side of town, because this side is, there's more, I guess you can say it's a little bit more dirtier and stuff, but on the east side it's, like a bit more cleaner. And to me, I think it's nicer. Like you can walk out at night, you can take strolls at night on the east side, compared to over here. You have to be kind of careful. You have to have like a buddy system, someone with you to walk with you, walk you home at night, and it's just a lot different.
Okay. So can you like describe like your daily life of being a commuter coming from the east side that you live in?
Yeah.
Here, because you work here at CNS grocery store.
Yeah, I do. Commuting here, I mean, it's not that difficult. It's only like probably 30 minutes away, or like sometimes if I catch a taxi, it'll probably be only 15 minutes away. It's very simple. Like I can catch the city bus or I can catch a taxi.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you still have like a lot of friends here in the neighborhood that you grew up with, or just people that that still live here?
Yeah, I mean, coming back here, you always see regular faces, like faces that you can't like miss. It's very different from the east side, because on the east side you hardly see like anyone that and then coming to work, it's like it's kind of like home, because that's like where you kind of grew up compared to the east side.
Okay. So, when the store first opened, right? What were your like first impressions of the store? Like, knowing that your dad owns a store now, and then to the point where when you started working, like how did it, like affect you, or like how did you feel about this area itself?
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, 10 years ago when my parents opened the store, I was careless, like I didn't know. I was like, yay, like my parents got, like they own a grocery store, I can come here and get food and stuff. I mean, that was me as a kid, like I was excited for them. Like I didn't know how to work and stuff because I mean, at the time I was a kid too. But then like growing up, like there's more to the store than than just coming here to grab groceries for the house. It's like you have to help your parents out. You have to manage things. You have to. I mean, it's like a lot of opportunity. I mean, a lot of work. You have to put into to actually make it work. It's like um, it's more than what people think. It's not just you put things on the shelf, expect people to buy it. It's like you have to think about finances. You have to think about what to order, what not to order. You have to think about your customers. You have to think about yourself, and then you have to think about the maintenance of the building. And it's like all of that combined. So it's very it's like difficult.
So what customer you guys usually have? Major customers?
Major customers, we have Asian customers. Like well, like I guess right now you can say there is more Burmese customers because of their immigration from their place to America, and a lot of them are it's like word of mouth. They're letting everyone know that there's a Asian grocery store here. So I mean they walk here, but like when we first opened, it was mainly Hmong customers. But as time goes by, I guess you can kind of see that there's not that much Hmong customers in the area anymore. So I mean they're either out of state or just in a different location.
Okay, so you were talking about like the change in like population or the clients that the
Mm-hmm.
store is kind of gearing itself to. So what, I guess in a way, what changes are you kind of like expecting like as a worker, of like the things that you might have to order,
Mm-hmm.
to meet the expectations of the new clients,
Mm-hmm.
um, and like what, like how, how do you foresee like or vision, the future of the store? Like, will the Hmong people, do you think they're gonna be able to like come back? Because Washington Park neighborhood have a really big Hmong population itself.
Yeah.
So like, like do you see any like changes that you might try to do to bring back the Hmong population,
Mm-hmm.
or are you gonna gear towards the Burmese population who's actually coming out?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it used to be like 10 years ago because 10 years ago there was, like streets filled with like, there's like this neighborhood with just like Hmong kids, and like now it's like, it's all, I guess it's kind of like, it's all like a melting pot, like everyone's just kind of mixed. It's like Burmese, Hmong, and, there's like blacks, there's some whites. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think it'd be nice if we could increase in Hmong population, but for I mean, it doesn't really matter, as long as, we get local customers. I think that's the good part about mom and pop shops. It's like they're not just here to, make a chain or like to make money. It's like helping the community, like to help make the community stronger because, we're still here. Like we're authentic. We're not like Walmart or like Target or something, you know.
Okay, so you talked a little bit about, like 10 years ago, they were like the streets were filled with Hmong people and everything. So, you know, how or like how or like um, what do you like? Because since like half was down the street, and there are a lot of Hmong families on the street. Um, can you describe like one or like tell a story about like a memory like from the past that kind of really stick with you from this neighborhood itself?
Um, I mean, there's like a lot of memories, I mean, because as a kid, I didn't really like the only people that I hung out with is my brothers. Like we would just run around the streets. We were like rebels. Like we would just do whatever, go into people's backyards. Because we were kids. We didn't know any better. We would like I don't know, play with other people's toys and stuff in their yards and stuff. I mean, but that's us as kids, you know. Like we never really played with anyone other than our my own family member. So, I mean, I guess it's hard to kind of answer your question because it was just basically me and my brothers.
Okay. So, well, that in itself is a memory,
Mhm.
in a story. So, like, can you describe then, like what, like how was like home then for you back then? Like, just with your, like with your brothers and then comparing it to now, like what is home for you?
Yeah.
Comparing it to like what if your brothers are not there with you anymore, having to live alone, and like like thinking about like the senses that you like the smells when you were home when your mom is cooking all of those food,
Mhm.
and then comparing it to like now when you're cooking the food, can you like describe a little bit about that for us?
Yeah, I mean, back then, it's like, I guess you can say my parents were kind of absent of my life. It's like, it was just me and my brothers. And like, whatever we could find in our fridge, we would just try to cook it. And then it's really no different now. It's like, I see my parents like once in a while. I mean, I see them every day, but I mean, it's like they're kind of absent of in my life. Just like I'm just here to work and stuff, and that's kind of how like it was back then. Like I was there to just because as a kid you just have to go to school, and that's all. And like there isn't really anything different. It is back then than compared to now because I mean it's still kind of the same. Like I mean the only difference is like I'm away from my parents, like I don't live in the same house. Like I live with me and my boyfriend. We live on the east side, and I mean his cooking sometimes reminds me of my parents. But that's basically it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you were talking about like his cooking that reminds you of your parents. Like
Mhm.
what, like in general, like what type of food like are we talking about? Like when I think about my parents, I think about like curry and all of
Mhm.
those stuff. So like, can you like explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's because he's Hmong too. So it's like I guess we come from similar backgrounds. So whenever he cooks like something that's like a Thai dish like la or something, it's like it just tastes almost like my mom's. So it's kind of like it's like it's crazy because we come from two different places, but yeah, we make the same food, and I think that's kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now let's talking about like the la and stuff.
Hmm.
Now let's move into like the Hmong identity then.
Hmm.
As a Hmong young person who's living on his own, um, like can you like describe like what this identity means to you? And like how you look at like the spaces that you kind of go to, like your living space.
Hmm.
Talking about things such as um, how you use your living space, your dining space, or just like overall like what's the Hmong identity for you? Um, Knowing that we use things from the Thai, Chinese, and Korean.
Yeah, I mean to me, Hmong identity, it's not really. I mean, because I'm different, in a way, because, like the Hmong identity for a male is to, get married with a woman. But to me, I think, since we're Asian American, it's different because, like I feel like we can choose whatever we desire. It's like, it shouldn't be about, like we have to follow these the Hmong religion or the Hmong culture anymore. It's because we're in a different environment. It's like we learn to adapt to whatever we like. It's not about. It shouldn't be about what our parents want us to be or what what we want our what how to make our parents happy. It should be about us at the end of the day because I mean, at the end, it's just gonna be most likely you. I mean that's how I grew up. It's like my parents weren't always there, so it's like I'm there by myself. And that's why I mean, I guess I grew up into this person who's, you know, kind of independent in a way.
Okay. So, as an independent Hmong youth or individual,
Mhm.
knowing that you must do some changes because there are things that the Hmong culture kind of inhibits you from doing. Um, can how or can you like explain or tell us like how are you trying to like keep this Hmong identity and then like hold on to what you are trying to like show that you are who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like my boyfriend, he doesn't know how to speak Hmong because he came from a very Americanized family. Like I try to teach him some Hmong sometimes, you know, and it's like, and then there's some words that like I can't get because, you know, like I was never really taught, you know, those words. But I mean, like I guess that's what I'm trying to keep. I'm trying to keep, you know, my Hmong, the language that I've learned from, you know, my parents, because I think that's like a really cool part that, you know, like I'm bilingual, and I just think that that's really cool because, you know, it's like you could speak two languages and kind of like understand, you know, both. So yeah.
Okay. Um, and then now present day, um, what like where do your families usually gather now? Knowing that you live from afar, do you
Mhm.
usually come here or they usually come and hang out with you on the east side?
Um, well, me and my boyfriend, we like our privacy, so we usually come here if there is a family gathering. But like I said, you know, it's like our family is kind of, you know, distant from each other. So I mean, we hardly have any family gatherings. So I mean, whenever someone does want to make one, we always just do it here at the store.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and so now that you're independent by yourself,
Hmm.
what changes do you like coming back like now that you've seen you used to live here, you've seen the neighborhood, and then going out you've seen another neighborhood.
Hmm.
What changes do you like envision Washington Park to partake on,
Hmm.
and like what kind of changes do you want to see happen?
Yeah. I mean, there's already changes in Washington Park. You know, I mean, the whole community. 10 years ago, I mean, it wasn't like it is today. Back then, they didn't have like community service for kids, like free places. You know, like they hold events. You know, now compared to like back then, they didn't have any like really big events. The only one that they really had is July 4th, where they shoot fireworks. But now they have like a whole urban ecology thing where residents of the area, they can go and they can do stuff there, and I think that's really cool because then it brings the whole community together, and I just hope that community, the urban ecology part, that it's part of Washington Park, grows, because I think that it's really good that neighbors know each other, and they don't go and like try to kill each other and stuff. Like not so much hate, and like more like people should be more knowledgeable about each other.
Okay. Um, so this is all the questions I have for you. Hongyan or Jajin, do you have any questions that you guys want to ask?
I have some questions I
Sure.
want to ask you.
Okay.
I think it's very interesting you mentioned that actually the store actually become a family gathering place.
Yeah.
So what did you guys do when you were?
It depends on the event, really, because if it's like someone's birthday, we would pull out a white table and we would just celebrate it. And even so, like when customers still come in as we're celebrating, we would ask them to join us, because I mean that's just how I guess the Hmong family is. Like we show hospitality. Like if someone comes in, it's like we always ask them to join us, and sometimes they do, and then sometimes they don't.
Oh. So, I heard this phrase yesterday from one of our other interview guy, and he said that Hmong people don't have friends; they have family. So, like, what do you think about this? Like this phrase in general, because you just said about like how your family are always welcoming, even if when they're not part of the family. Your
Yeah.
family asks them to join.
I mean, it really is, because like if you bring over a friend, it's like you automatically kind of make them part of the family because you just put them into, like the water with you. It's like they don't know what they're doing. They just go with it. So it's like that's basically how I guess Hmong people would describe, like family and friends because I mean, all together we're all family.
Any other questions?
Could we talk a little bit more about the store itself? Like, because I see, they have different aisles. It's actually a huge store to all of us. They said it's a huge store.
Yeah.
How did you guys actually organize the
I
aisles?
mean,
Like,
it was kind of difficult, I guess, because we started off with clearing the floors out. The whole place was really a mess when we first got it. Like we had to clean out the floors, and then we had to go downstairs and clean the basement, and then we had to actually do as you guys can see, we had to actually paint those ourselves, and then put them up there. And then with organizing the shelves, like my parents, the old store, they had the refrigerators on this side, but then my parents wanted to switch it to that side because I guess he thought that it's like when you come in, you like people automatically wants drinks, so they can see it as they come in, and then from there on we just work our way to the back. So there wasn't really, I guess there's not really a way of organizing things, but it's just how my parents felt like it should be. Yeah.
you guys painted the ceiling. What does symbol mean? Like, is that something special to the family or to Hmong itself?
Yeah, it's just what Hmong people call bandao. It's like sewing, It's a type of, like, people would, like, sew the kind of designs onto their dresses and stuff and their clothing. So, that's what my parents wanted to go for. They want to go for this really original Hmong look to the store.
Yeah. When I asked a question about organization, because last time Tommy and I were here, we shop a little bit, and
Yeah.
it's kind of difficult for us to find the things we want because when we go to pick and say Walmart, it's like there's tags
Yeah,
or
they have
things that have organized in a way that pretty standardized, and so I'm just confusing. Like, did you actually organize it in the way that you think it's easier for you guys to find or for the Hmong people to find?
Yeah, I think it's really just an organization of how my parents would find things, because I wasn't the ones who put the things up on the shelf. I can't make the decision for them. They were the ones who made it, So it's like if we try to bring the sauce, because you guys saw this sauce aisle, if we were to bring it back here, I think they would kind of get mad because, this isn't what they would see as a sauce aisle. I guess they see it as in the middle.
Did you ask them why they want to put it there?
Yeah, I've asked them many times, but they just give me an answer. Like, they just asked me a question too. They're like, why you don't like it there or something? Like, yeah. And I told them, I'm like, well, I think it should be in the front because like as like just an Asian family, it's like we use a lot of sauce in our cooking, and I feel like it should be kind of prioritized, and put it in the front so people can see it.
Yeah, I guess maybe the way of cooking are sort of different, so you see it differently from
from them. Yeah.
I do agree that the drinks, the refrigerator idea was like, the coolest part because they're like, if you walk from the door, you see it right there, and you're like, I want that drink, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna go there and grab that drink. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is more visible this way.
Yeah.
I agree. So I saw you guys put up a TV, video tape counter. What is that for? Do you guys sell TV tapes or?
Yeah, we do over there, but we stopped buying them because we're on the edge of switching our store name to someone else. As I told you guys earlier, my brother's gonna be handing over. He's gonna be giving the store, so he's on the edge of organizing everything, to whatever he like, I guess. Yeah.
I wonder if the neighborhood is safe because when I entered the store, I saw some gunshot.
Yeah.
Glass.
Yeah, it's not, I can tell you this, it's not safe, but I guess it depends on the day too, because some days, you can walk and like no one would harass you, like, cause as a kid, me and my brothers would roam around, and we're Asian, and the majority of the population in the area is black, and sometimes they'll call us Chinese or something, but I mean we're not Chinese. It's like we tell them that we're Hmong, and then they make some weird noises, like they'll say ching chong and stuff. I'm like, and then it's just a big misunderstanding that people have, like a misconcept, like it's just really, I guess you can say it's like very segregated, and it's not. That's like one of the reasons why I wanted to move out of the neighborhood, because it was so bad. And like just I think it was just this year. If you guys saw, you guys saw bullet holes through the glass. It's because I mean there was a shooting down the block where two people had actually died, and like we had to get the cops in here because they wanted to find the bullet, so that they can track the shooter. But I mean it really depends. It's like, I guess it's like a luck. It's like if you're lucky that day, then you won't get hurt. So I mean it's kind of scary, and it's yeah.
Did you guys make the arrow next to the hole, the bullet hole?
No, that was the cops. The cops had to come in, and they had to put it there, and then they came and took pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They stay there, right? You guys don't move.
Yeah, we don't move it. But I mean, I think they said they're gonna come back and get the bullet, but the bullet's lodged into the wall, and then by the wall it's drywall, so the bullet actually fell down. So they have to kind of cut the wall and get the bullet. But I mean, we're still waiting for them to come and get it if they want it. If not, then we're just gonna replace the windows.
So this just happened recently?
Yeah, it's recently.
How
Yeah.
long ago?
Probably like a month or two ago. Yeah, like it was funny. I mean, it was kind of scary and funny at the same time, because like it just happened as soon as someone left the building, and then me, my mom, and my dad, we saw like some smoke. Like it just came really fast, and then we heard people screaming and stuff from the outside, and then we was like, what is going on? And then we saw the bullet hole on the window, and then we're like, wow, that's crazy, and then we just called the cops.
So your mom is not around very often? Like,
I mean, she was here. Like, she usually cooks in the back because we have a hot food in the back. But she has to help her sister in California at the time, so she's been gone for like a good 3 months.
yeah, but you guys, your dad's still cooking?
Yeah,
from
my dad's still.
What he usually make?
Yeah, he usually makes food in the back, and then he would, he comes here early, like 7 in the morning, and then we open at 9. So he has like 2 hours to cook, and then he'll open the store, and then get people coming in.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
curious to know the food that he actually made, because when we actually enter,
Mhm.
we 3 of us are Chinese. When we enter the store,
Mhm.
we smell that really good smell. I think
Yeah.
I don't know if something is the recipe of the food your dad is making.
Yeah.
So can you describe the smell? Like, could you observe it at all?
The smell, well, I mean, to me, it smells normal, because I mean, I've been here so often. But I mean, to other customers, some people find it kind of distasteful. Like they think that it stinks. Like we always get customers who comes in and like, ew, what is that smell? It stank. And we're like, well, it's just that's kind of like our culture. Like we all have our own kind of smell. It's just like people, like when people burn incense. Like they have a specific smell that they like. So I mean, I think it's just normal for us, but for other people it might be different.
Is that smell from the food?
Yeah.
What kinds of food?
Just whatever my dad seasoned in the back with the chicken, the pork, and the sausage.
Yeah, because when we actually like measuring the other Hmong houses, when
Mhm.
I enter it, I instantly I smell the same thing that
Yeah.
I found in the store. Like, it must be the same food.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell exactly what it is. I mean, probably Tommy can tell. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, so thank you for
Alright.
letting us interview you, and we will make sure to let you see the documentary and
Okay.
the little biography we're gonna write about you.
All right.
So we'll for sure be in touch after the
All right.
interview.
Sounds
Right,
good.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.